Okay. Hi guys, welcome back. Now today's video is going to be slightly different from all of the previous ones. It is just after the Christmas and I hope you all had good times with families and you feel rested. I believe many of you will be treating yourself to a brand new PC, or maybe perhaps finally you've managed to purchase that GPU for a fair price. And because of this, there will be loads of old hardware that will just become obsolete and gets literally dumped. Hence why today we are going to take a look at this unit, which was given to me by a family member who has no longer any need for this, since it was replaced by a new laptop. What we are looking at then is Packard Bell iMedia 1800. Now me being me, liking all the hardware, I instantly thought, what can I do to give this multimedia box its last breath of fresh air and make a use of it? Can I play games on it? So I went on the famous auction site and purchased a couple of components where the total was £12 or 16 USD, which are going to be serving as upgrades, and that includes a new CPU, a GPU and also extra RAM, which hopefully will make things run a bit smoother. Let's take a closer look at the unit itself. So at the front you can see there's nothing more but a city sticker, which I'm going to now take away. There's a couple of stickers indicating that this might be probably closing to 10 years or 10 plus years old, being it's almost 2022. Nice Packard Bell logo. I must say I do like the simple design lines of this unit. There's a tray here which leads up to the DVD drive. There's a couple of USB ports. There's your headphone and microphone jack, a bunch of card readers. There's no air intake on the front, which given the spec of the machine is not going to be too much of a deal. So turning the unit around, and at the back we see there's a proprietary power supply, which is slightly concerning for what we are trying to achieve here. Keyboard and a mouse combos, VGA port, LAN, Ethernet and a couple of USB ports, some audio jacks and also 2 PCI brackets. Just as a little bonus, there's a genuine Windows 7 Pro sticker, which means we can install Windows 10 no problems. I very much doubt this will support Windows 11, but that's besides the point. So let me grab my trusty screwdriver and get this unit opened. Alright, there's only 2 screws holding it, so this should be fairly quick to do. And with that, just like that, the side panel comes off. So what do we get on the inside? So immediately, right off the bat, I can see there's a spinny hard drive, which means slow. So we will be upgrading this to a SSD, a SATA based SSD. This power supply, now this is what's going to be interesting. You can see it's got this weird bracket. It is a 250 watt unit. This is not a lot of juice that this can provide to the system. However, it is all well within the spec. There's a box cooler, which is not a Intel stock cooler, which is good to see. There's 2 sticks of RAM, and I do believe that these are totaling up to 3 gigabytes, and they are DDR3, the very slowest DDR3 that is. I have not been able to find much information on the maker or whoever has manufactured this motherboard, what are its maximum capacities and speeds that are supported, so I'm playing it a little safe here. But hopefully that's going to allow for a bit of a smooth operation, because 4 gigs, whilst not great, still better than 3. The next step, guys, is to take all of the components out and maybe give this case a little bit of a TLC, a little bit of a clean, and then we'll get on with the next part, which is upgrading of the CPU, the memory, and also the GPU. There we go. That's the front panel. And here's the screw that holds the hard drive cage in. Of all the places. And there's the 500 gig spinny drive. There's only 2 SATA power available for us, one has to go. Or we decide to bypass the DVD drive, which I feel is going to be the sensible option here. Nearly there. I feel the motherboard is about to come out. Maybe. You know what, maybe this wasn't really a great idea after all. It should have ended up in the dump. Let's not get defeated by a motherboard. I really wonder what was they thinking when they designed this? It's always a good idea to maybe give it a clean. So here's why I brought my trusty Henry the Hoover to help with the years of dust that have settled inside of the case. So with Mr. Henry the Hoover part done, the case should be free of dust, and I feel we should move on to the next step, which is fitting the new processor and the memory onto the motherboard. So let's start by removing the old CPU from the socket. Our upgrade is a Q8300, which is a quad-core chip. So I'm hoping this will give us a little bit more oomph for the games and the overall productivity. As for the memory, I've ended up buying this 4 gig kit from the famous auctions website for £6. Aligning the holes, and in it goes. The next upgrade, which is ta-da! NVIDIA Quadro 2000D. I've purchased this GPU for £4, listed as full parts on and working. Everything is installed. Now, all I need to do is just put the front and side cover on, give it a little bit of a clean, and then we can hopefully install the OS and see if this upgrade was worthwhile. Nothing quite beats isopropyl alcohol. Use in moderation. Okay, I think that just about does it.
A few moments later.
And with the original 3 gigs back in the iMedia again, let's play some games and start with CSGO. You know it's spinning storage time when the loading screen music ends before your game is actually loaded. We use the minimal graphical settings here and we saw 55 FPS on average. Not great, not terrible, and loads of status. I give it a nope for ranked matches. Fortnite is next, and I have to admit, I've played this game only once or twice in my entire life. Now, using the performance preset, we've averaged nearly 37 FPS on average, but it's the same story as with CSGO. Loads of hitches and not very consistent, so I give it a thumbs down. Rocket League, here, we used the performance preset again, but achieved nearly solid 60 FPS on average. I'd say this was very playable, and I did enjoy a few matches. Returning back to a classic that Fallout 3 definitely is, and with the high preset, we've averaged 52 FPS, more than capable of delivering 60 on medium. Great results. I could easily spend a few hours in the wasteland using this medium PC. Oh, hang on, I did. Tomb Raider was next, using the lowest possible setting, and we saw 71 FPS on average. I'm really impressed here.
Come on, baby, start.
And of course, how could I miss out on some GTA 4 action? Here, the medium struggled a bit and we've only just got 26 FPS on average using the medium settings. So I don't think this was awfully enjoyable experience. GTA 5 was next, and here, welcomed by a polite warning for not meeting the minimum spec in terms of the RAM, using the lowest possible settings, this medium pushed 34 FPS on average, which is just an amazing result, and at the same time, a hats off to Rockstar. GTA 6 when? Visiting the old cement factory here in S.T.A.L.K.E.R, Call of Pripyat, we've averaged 64 FPS using the medium graphical settings. Mafia 2 was next on the list. Medium pushed nearly 40 FPS on average using the medium preset. Yes, this was smooth enough, I could easily sink a few hours into this. What's not to say I didn't? Source Engine is known to run well on potato hardware, and Portal 2 was no exception, and we've achieved almost 150 FPS on average, and this was done with the high preset.
We haven't entirely nailed down what element it is yet, but I'll tell you this, it's a lively one, and it does not like the human skeleton.
Pushing my luck in many ways here with Alien Isolation, we saw many Joes and some 39 FPS on average using the bare minimum graphical settings. I think it's high time for some old school action. Doom 3 BFG edition runs perfectly on this PC, locked at 60 FPS with no AA. And we close today's game testing in Test Drive Unlimited 2. Using the lowest possible settings, we saw 52 FPS on average. However, the frame times were too high for me to enjoy this title. And there it is, guys. Let's wrap up this video with a bit of a conclusion. I personally enjoy all hardware, all the new, and I hope you can tell that by now. This Medium project was loads of fun, the challenges and the great outcomes. I hope it made one thing clear. Please do not dump any old PC. Instead, let them be reused, donate them to your nephew, and let them learn something new about building computers or hardware in general. It often only takes a small amount of money to upgrade such computers with used second-hand parts and give them few extra years of life. I hope you did enjoy watching this video as much as I did making it. What do you think of this format? Did you reuse some old PC and give it some better CPU and graphics cards? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. And as ever, thank you very much for watching, and I'm hoping to see you all in the next one.